like that.
We put banks in on this access road, it's the main access road into the property, because about 50 metres that way and again another 50 metres further that way are the old roads. Every time it would get too eroded to use, they would just scratch up a new road, which is what they did here. When we bought the property, this was only just a new access road. But as you can see by the sides of the road, the erosion was occurring and history was going to repeat itself in that this road would no longer have been able to be used. So that was when we started really seriously looking into some way of being able to control that erosion factor. And that was when we found out about, oh, well, they call them woo boys, but we prefer to call them erosion control banks.
We're standing on one of the banks that we put in September last year, and what happens is the water will come in between the bank above it and this bank here, and because the bank's on a slight decline, it directs the water down to the borrow pit here, and it'll pond there. The ponding of the water actually allows a lot of the silt that's in the water to settle, so that we can push that back on the landscape at a later date. And once this borrow pit gets full, then that water then will come out on a sheet. The bottom side of this borrow pit here has been surveyed and put in on a level, so that once that water fills up, it comes out as a sheet with a low energy component, and that's how you stop erosion. If you can take the energy out of the water, it's not water that causes erosion, it's the energy factor.
This borrow pit captures the water, so we take the velocity out of the water, and you can see the cone of influence where that water flows out as a sheet. Even under the trees, the pasture regeneration has been quite substantial. All of this was basically bare when we put this bank in. We don't consider ourselves cattle producers. We're grass growers. We're producers of grass, and cattle is what we do with that grass. So from a business perspective, if we don't grow grass well, we probably won't have a business for too long.